Fred Rogan, who's a legend in L.A., long time. He just recently retired. Long time, one local radio host, but also he's been NBC sports program director for basically my lifetime. And so Rogan was in, and they had this discussion on NFL running backs.
The NFL owners officially said, screw running backs in this NFL. Because there were 3 guys out there basically looking for deals. Tony Pollard with the Cowboys.
Right.
Saquon Barkley
Yep.
with the Giants. And Josh Jacobs with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
None of them had to be signed by 4 o'clock today Eastern. It didn't happen.
By the way, nobody expected it to happen.
But it didn't happen. Nobody broke down. And Fred, so these guys, Rob G, basically got nothing. So now they're saying that Tony Pollard, I guess, signed his franchise tag. He gave in. Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs apparently, reportedly, are not going to go to training camp, and they're going to hold out, and they refuse to take the franchise tag.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this, and I'm dead serious when I say this, because this infuriates me. The NFL, with all these big, strong, fearless guys who have to do a lot, Fred, to earn a living,
right,
are cowards. They refuse to stand up to these owners for what they should be making. All the NFL does is flaunt how much money they make. That's all they ever do. Look how much money we're making. We got the casinos in our back pocket and the gambling houses, and we got this and all of these TV shows. And when we put our schedule show on, look at the numbers. All they talk about is how much money they make.
Right.
But they don't want to pay the running backs a fair wage.
Huh? I mean, again, this is not in the Tom Brady land of bad takes. Well, maybe it's if the Tom Brady is the luckiest of all time, is the island of Australia. This is is it Tanzania that's closest to it? What else is New Zealand's very close as well, right? It's something kind of close and connected to it. The owners are sitting there going guys, who can we screw this year? Running backs. Okay, guys, let's not give running backs money. Okay, or we could factor in that there isn't a contract extension, a second contract that is in the 8-figure variety that feels like it's a good one, right? And oh yeah, by the way, $10 million is a pretty good wage. 3 of them are making $10 million. Only 3 other running backs are making more this year than Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs and Tony Pollard. Only 3 of them. Christian McCaffrey is one of them. He signed a gigantic deal. Christian McCaffrey's deal was so good that the Carolina Panthers couldn't keep him healthy, ended up trading him. The GM who agreed to that deal and the head coach lost their jobs. And oh yeah, by the way, here's the other part. They actually got better at running the football once they trade away Christian McCaffrey. It's this is the most waste of time discussion ever. And every day, I saw Dominic Foxworth say Saquon Barkley needs to sit out this season so he gets an appropriate contract. Dude, first of all, how about you own it? Dominic Foxworth, you're head of the players union, and this is all part of what was collectively bargained upon. I hate the franchise tag. They had a chance to take away the franchise tag 3 years ago. They didn't do it. They signed a CBA extension, new CBA. You know how long it was? 10 years. You don't like the system? Well, you're going to have to find another sport. Because in this sport, they collectively bargained, they agreed, this is the way the deal works. And if you want to sit there and go well, it's not fair to his position, all right, I mean, look at Zach Martin. Zach Martin is one of the best. Now, he's in a different spot, okay, but he's one of the best at his position in the National Football League. And today it came out that he's contemplating whether or not he wants to sit out because of his contract. Zach Martin's a guy that, again, a little different. He's in his 30s, but lineman last in his 30s. Into their 30s. He signed a front and back-loaded deal, and we're getting towards the end of it. So this year he makes only $1.7 million in base salary. Okay, in overall cash, he makes $13 million. Next year he'll make $14 million. The problem was he wanted long-term stability. He got it, and they got his rights. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys, why would you renegotiate? I got him for 2 more years at 33 and 34 years old, and at the end of it, they could franchise tag him, or he could be a free agent. They could walk. Like, we do this insane. There's no other business where people say this stupid crap on a daily basis. None. Yes, quarterbacks' contracts and the values are exploding. But it should be pointed out there's a lot of talented quarterbacks that don't get those big money because teams have to balance. Okay, maybe I'll put a rookie in there. I'll put somebody who doesn't cost that much so I can rebuild my entire roster. And I will say this, I'd like to say it's for the last time, but it won't be because we'll have these insane arguments again and again and again. Okay? But let me give you a couple of facts about the NFL. Okay? First, it is a business. Okay? It is a business. And every business is structured differently in terms of how they pay their employees. This one is collectively bargained with a union. That collective bargaining agreement lasts for a decade. It's got 7 more years left on it. Okay, so if you have an issue with it, take it up with your union. That's why it's there. And oh yeah, by the way, you got all these athletes in college like, we should unionize. Go ahead. See how happy they are in the NFL. Secondly, right? People don't realize there's a salary cap. Salary cap has a ceiling, salary cap has a floor. Why does that matter? There was a year without a salary cap. There was a year. Isaac Lowenkron, do you know what happened in that year where there was no salary cap in the NFL?
Anarchy and chaos.
That's exactly what didn't happen. What do you think the common fan or the common radio host, what do you think they would say they think would happen if there's no salary cap?
The Dallas Cowboys will just buy everybody?
Correct. They thought owners would go like, I'm just going to buy the best team, right? Everybody just spend. You know what happened?
That did not happen.
No one. You know who wanted the cap after that? The players. Because the owners are like, wait, I don't have to, there's no minimum spending? Fine, done. Where do I sign? This is amazing, right? It's amazing. Like, they don't tell you that, like, look at baseball, right? The A's don't spend anything. The Rays try not to spend anything. Oh, yeah, by the way, even the Yankees and all these other teams, like, they don't spend anything on rookies. Heck, all of this contract discussion, like, go ahead and look at Ronald Acuna, right? Like, we don't have anybody who has the brains to look out and go like, hey, all of this stuff is kind of similar. Baseball, way longer longevity. So Ronald Acuna was on a rookie deal. The Braves went to him and said, hey, what if you signed like a lifetime contract at like $17 million per year, you know? And he was like, done, right? It looks like $200 million or something total. Ronald Acuna is arguably, like, outside of Shohei Ohtani, the best player in the sport, right? He's in. Is that okay? Can I have that? Can I say that without studying baseball, like on a daily basis in the OPS and OPS plus? Jay Stu, is that way out of turn?
That's not out of turn. Nope.
Okay. And he will be massively underpaid for the next 10 years. But you know what? That was the contract he signed. That's the way it works. You get the money early. You're going to be underpaid late. Colin talked about it with Zach Martin. So salary caps matter because the floor matters. And here's the most important part. Owners don't sit there and go like, ooh, I saved $3 million on Saquon Barkley. Send me up that money, wire it to me. I can use it to buy another boat. The money that's saved is spent elsewhere. Okay? The salary cap is based upon a percentage of the money that the team brings in. So yes, they're celebrating all these things they make money on, as Rob pointed out. And the football earning stuff ends up making the players more money. It's an insane argument that lacks any sort of substance, and I'm so sick and tired of having it that you end up making me dislike the players who are arguing a living wage. Dude, they're making $10 million to play running back. It's a position of declining value. If you can't understand that, you need to go and Google basic economics.